Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Car Diaries, and today we are welcoming our first hot hatch of the series. Behind me we have my brand new 2019 Golf GTI Performance. So having previously owned the Mark 7 GTD variant of the car, I'm delighted to get behind the wheel of this 7.5 GTI Performance Pack car and welcome it as my new daily driver. The car's only 4 days old, so I'm still very much getting used to it, but I thought I'd take you along one of the first trips in the car and on the journey of ownership with this fantastic new hot hatch. So starting off with a little walk around of the car. The GTI Mark 7.5 iteration has some nice red detailing, as you can see, along the front of the car. I opted for the tungsten silver paintwork, which I'm absolutely delighted with. I had spec'd it online in the configurator, so I didn't know how it would look in person in the metal, but it looks absolutely spot on. We've got the beautiful big red brake calipers front and rear in the car with the GTI logos, which comes as part of the performance pack, larger brakes than the standard GTI model. As we then continue round the vehicle, we've got the red GTI detailing on the side of the car. You'll see we've got a gloss black roof on the car as well. This was actually just done one day after I took delivery of the car, second day of ownership. Put it into show wraps in Glasgow. We've done an absolutely fantastic job, and they've also wrapped onto the rear lip spoiler on the car as well. I opted for the 5-door car just as it's a little bit more sensible for every day, a bit more practical. I had the 3-door GTD, but the doors actually are almost too big for British parking spaces, so went for the 5-door. We've got rear privacy glass, which is standard in the car, and then as we come round the rear, my favourite part, the twin pipes on the back, which I think look absolutely mega. Without further ado, I'll talk you through the interior and then we can take it for a proper blast on some nice twisty little B roads and see how the car handles. So we're now inside my Golf GTI Performance. So very similar to my GTD cockpit in here, albeit we've now got the digital dash. We've got the beautiful touch sensitive display in the centre here, which is larger than that in my Mark 7 GTD. We've also got Apple CarPlay, which comes in pretty handy. And main thing in here is I've got a 6-speed manual box, which I had the DSG box, so the dual clutch transmission in the GTD, which I loved. It was a great box. However, having done a little bit reading up on the GTI, I decided that the manual box was what I fancied. So nice 6-speed manual, trimmed very nicely with the black leather with the red stitching, which matches the seats and things as well. And yeah, so far so good with the box. Nice short shifts. So we'll take it for a bit of a blast and continue on our way. So we are now hitting the B roads. So let's open this thing up a little bit. We've got it in sport mode already, so we've got 4 modes in the car. We have eco mode, we have normal mode, we have sport mode, and we have individual mode, which individual mode allows you to tweak a number of items in the car, including actually the front diff, how responsive your throttle is, tone of the exhaust and things like that as well. However, I must admit, I've pretty much set up individual mode exactly the same as sport, so I'm just leaving it in sport all the time. So let's drop it into second, 4,500 RPM, and nice short shift. It's a lot quicker than I was expecting. Nice corner coming round. Handling this car is just absolutely superb. Obviously, in terms of handling and hot hatches, the GTI has always been sort of renowned for being one of the ultimate hot hatches. It's synonymous with performance and sort of driving quality, and it really is great because it's very comfortable. Yet as soon as you really push it on in the twisties, it's as flat as you'd ever need a hot hatch to be. So I really do love it. I mean, these roads are nice and tight and twisty. It's so direct in the turn in, it's absolutely tremendous. I know it's nothing like my Lotus, but genuinely it's just as much fun to drive. I'm actually shocked at how good it is. I had sort of an idea in my head of what this car was going to be like, and I must say it supersedes every expectation that I had of the car. It sounds better than expected, it looks better than I thought it was going to as well, and the driving is just phenomenal. I'm so glad I went for this manual transmission. So So we're slowing down a little bit, coming through a little village at the moment, just cruising along, and the car, 6th gear, it's 50 miles per hour going through this little village here, and it's as quiet and refined as you'd ever need a car to be as well. Obviously we've got the space in the back there, so you can seat 5 adults quite comfortably in the car. There's more than enough room behind me as well, and I'm 6'3", so that's saying something. I've got the seat fairly far back and there's still a good amount of room behind. Still in sport mode, there's not really any real drone or anything like that. Road noise as well is minimal. The car is running on 18s, so I've just went for the standard GTI Performance wheels. I did think about perhaps changing these at some point, which we may do at some point in the future, to the 19s. In all honesty, the 18s are pretty much spot on, and I'm actually growing to like the look of them as well. It was one of the only things I wasn't 100% on when I was getting this car, is I knew it was coming with the standard 18-inch wheels, and I wasn't a massive fan of the look of them. But actually, having seen them in the car now, I think the gloss black section goes quite nicely with the roof we've got in the car now, and the diamond cut section as well is really, really nice. And they have changed them a little bit from the Mark 7 GTI wheels. When you actually compare the sort of cut of the diamond cut section of it, they have tweaked them a little bit, and I must say I prefer these ones. I think if I'd gone for the Mark 7, I would have had to have changed the wheels, because I'm just not a massive fan of them. But at the end of the day, it's down to personal preference, and something like the wheels can be changed very easily. So I'm only 4 days into ownership of this car, so I've only done 370 miles on the odometer at the moment. As I've just raved about, I think the car's absolutely tremendous. I'm over the moon with it. To name a bad point, only thing is, with over 240 horsepower going through the front wheels, it's dry at the moment today, which is great, so it's putting the power out perfectly. Last night it was a little bit damp. It does wheel spin quite a bit, and it can struggle to put the power out, but it definitely puts out better than my GTD did. And I think having the front diff on the car really makes quite a difference. So the standard Mark 7.5 doesn't have the front diff, so again it would be interesting to drive one of them to sort of compare, but I think that helps with the power. But in the wet, yeah, it does definitely wheel spin. I had it wheel spinning in 3rd and 4th actually last night without even giving it too hard a push. So that is something you've got to sort of watch out for with the car. But yeah, so far that's the only bad point really, to be honest with you. I think overall the car is fantastic. It performs really, really nicely. A few of my close friends have some nice hot hatches, so we're going to get a hold of them and do some comparison tests with those cars over the coming weeks and months. So we've got a nice Audi S3. A friend of mine, albeit it's not a hot hatch as such, he's just taking delivery of a BMW M3 convertible next week, so we'll get that as well. Another friend's got an Octavia VRS, which is actually following us at the moment, and he's also got a Subaru Impreza WRX STI coming as well next week as well. So it's very much been new car month for a few of my friends over the past couple of weeks. So we'll get reviews on all of these cars coming very shortly, and we've got some rather tasty supercars coming very shortly as well. So 384 miles into ownership. I am absolutely loving the car. We'll come back to you with more videos on this car, but for the meantime, thank you very much for watching episode 3 of the Car Diaries. Episode 4, I won't give too much away, but we've got 2 cars lined up for the next 2 episodes, which are going to be really, really special. You know what, I'm going to tell you, we've got a 992 Carrera 4S, one of the first 992 generation Porsches on the roads, customer car in the UK, which a very good friend of mine is about to take delivery of. So he's kindly said, as soon as I've got it, Craig, take it out, use it, abuse it. Maybe not abuse it too much if you're watching, John. I won't abuse it at all. But take it out, take it for a good blast, and do a review on that, which will be really cool, because I can't wait to see that. We also have a 750 brake horsepower Lamborghini Aventador SV as well coming. So I cannot wait to get behind the wheel of that. Honestly, one of my dream cars, 6.5 litre natural aspirated V12. That's got to be one of the coolest cars on the road at the moment. I don't need to say any more than that. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notifications as well, so you're alerted whenever we post a new video. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we can't wait to see you in the next one with one of the following two cars. Thanks for watching.
Professional carrying on film.
Fuck them, they're in the road.
I can say that, I'm not wearing.
Oh yeah. We're not running anyone over. Quite hot actually. Kidding on. No, they were.